You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me on another episode of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Make sure you go to our Facebook page and get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. The NBA, they now have an official start date. Yep, an official start date. Excuse me, so get ready. The National Basketball Players Association Board of Representatives voted Thursday night to approve a plan for a December 22nd start to the season that includes a reduced 72-game schedule, clearing the way for the league and union to finalize details on the 2021 season. So the NBA and the NBPA are planning to discuss the opening of free agency as quickly as possible after the November 18th NBA draft to accommodate player movement with such a short window to the opening of training camps on December 1st. Now, the league believes that a December 22nd start that includes Christmas Day games on television and allows for a 72-game schedule that finishes before the Summer Olympics in July. It's worth between $500,000 to $1 billion in short and long-term revenues to the league and the players. It seemed like the NBA season just ended. So, I don't really have any quarrels about it. It doesn't really bother me if they started in December or January, because most people will tell you that basketball really doesn't start until after football season, even though you're almost halfway through the season at that point. But at the end of the day, it's all about money. The league lost a lot of money due to the COVID-19 situation. And the league is going to push this, and that's what we're doing. The players have, at first LeBron James was against it. And I'm hearing now that he's for it, because, again, it's all about money. No one wants their money messed up, and they're already going to be on a 72-game schedule. I'm more, I'm more, interested in that. I want to see how they make this 72-game schedule. Are you going to play every team in the league on this schedule? So that's what I'm more interested in. But we'll find out in the coming days how that goes. So sticking with the NBA, I wanted to touch on the Philadelphia 76ers. They are thinking about pursuing James Harden. Now, the part about this is interesting because in order to acquire a player of James Harden's caliber, the 76ers would likely have to get rid of one of their young all-stars, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Now, while Daryl Morey, the new president of basketball operations, he's going to evaluate all options. Both he and Doc Rivers have made it clear that they believe the duo of Embiid and Simmons can win at the highest level. I'm going to tell you I disagree with Doc and Morey on the Embiid and Simmons can win at the highest level. Because if that was the case, they would have already done it. I mean, this team, the Sixers are built for success. Simmons can ball in his own right. He can't shoot to save his life, but he's still a baller. Now, as far as the trade, it's one of those things where the trade really doesn't move me. Because if someone goes, it's more than likely going to be Ben Simmons. I would keep Tobias Harris, he has some of those intangibles that not entanglement, but intangibles. He has some of those intangibles that he brings with his game. I like Tobias Harris. I think you put him with Harden and Embiid, then yeah, that team that team is going to an NBA Finals in the East. But Embiid and Simmons, no, they're not winning nothing together. The paint is too clogged. You know, you got Horford down there as well, even though he's expanding his game to the perimeter. Too much going on down there. But again, the trade really doesn't move me. And I must also say, I don't really have faith in Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers has milked that one championship in Boston more than anybody who milks championships in the history of championships. He's done really much. He's pretty much done nothing. He's been Mike Budenholzer since that championship with Boston. I want to say that was 2009 they won. Was that 2009? The name of the game is What Have You Done For Me Lately? And Doc hasn't done much for me lately. Yeah. All right, so that's all I got for you, folks. That is it. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Go to the Facebook page. Get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.